The News 4 Rundown starts now.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jim Handley. It's Thursday, May 21st. We'll get you caught up on all today's top stories in just a bit. But first, we've got to talk about that wild weather shift here in the DMV. Yesterday afternoon, D.C. hit 96 degrees. That's a record for the city. But a day later, today, a completely different story. A drastic temperature tumble, leaving many of us in the 50s this afternoon. Not only are we dealing with cooler temperatures, we've got rain sticking around all over our region as we head into, Memorial Day weekend. Not the best of timing. Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Doug Kammerer's in the Weather Center tonight for us. Doug, will there be any relief over the next 3 or 4 days?
Yeah, not from the rain. We need the rain. So this rain is actually relief from all the dry weather we've seen over the past couple of months. So we really do need to see the rain. And this will be one of the biggest rainmakers that we've seen in quite some time. I'm expecting upwards of maybe 1 to as much as 2-3 inches over the next couple of days. The rain is here now. Down towards National Harbor, you see the rain coming down across the region right now. Temperature-wise, we're all in the 50s, as you mentioned. Here's the rain. Now notice areas to the north, Hagerstown and Martinsburg. You've seen rain all day. That rain is now sliding to the south. Areas like Waldorf, though, in the D.C. area, didn't see any rain during the day, but it's moving in now, and you can see some of that rain is on the heavy side in through D.C., right along Route 66, coming through Fairfax or I-66, and then Route 50 making its way out to the west, too. You're seeing that through Loudoun County, down through Fauquier County, Rappahannock County, Culpeper County, all seeing that heavier rain right on down I-95 towards Fredericksburg, and there's a lot more rain where that came from. We've got moisture continuing to work its way into our area, so we've got rain moving in across the area now. A very wet, cool day for your Friday. More showers into the weekend, but it is not a total washout. Sunday and Monday, not too bad. We'll talk about it. I'll break it down for you. I'm taking you hour by hour, coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Doug, thank you. We are following a tragic story out of Virginia this evening where a baby boy died in a hot car yesterday in Spotsylvania County. Tonight, the child's mother is in jail facing 2 charges in connection to his death. According to the Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office, the child's mother called police when she realized her 2-month-old had been in his car seat all day while she was at work. Our Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder has the heartbreaking story and advice from child safety experts.
A 42-year-old mother went into work yesterday in Spotsylvania at 9 in the morning, according to court documents. When she left work at 5, she discovered the kind of tragedy that can devastate entire communities.
This is probably everybody's worst nightmare.
The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office says the mother discovered that her 2-month-old son had been in the car all day long. So she brought the baby into her work and immediately called police. Police were called to the business on Lafayette Boulevard. When they arrived, the baby was unresponsive. Then fire and EMS were called. Once on scene, fire and EMS crews wasted no time. They immediately got the baby into an ambulance and rushed the baby here to Mary Washington Hospital. And that drive was something like a motorcade. Sheriff's deputies blocked off every road along the path so the ambulance could get the baby here and into emergency care as quickly as possible. Still, quickly as possible was too late. The baby spent some amount of time outside of the car in the mother's work and then also the ambulance ride. But still, court documents say that when the baby got here to the emergency room, their body temperature was still 107 degrees.
So far this year, we've had 5 fatalities of children in hot cars, and 3 of those happened during a 24-hour period this week. Just in the last 2 days.
Amber Rollins is the executive director of the organization Kids and Car Safety. She says Virginia is the latest home to the tragedy that's also struck Florida, Tennessee, California, and Alabama this year. Her organization is pushing lawmakers on Capitol Hill to mandate stricter car safety regulations. But in the meantime, she says anyone can protect precious cargo with something as simple as a stuffed animal.
Grab a stuffy, throw it in the backseat of your car. Anytime you buckle the baby into the car seat and bring it up front in your lap as a physical reminder that your child is with you. And then when you go to get them out, you put the stuffy back in the back seat. So it lives there and you never have to go looking for it. But that visual cue is so important.
Back in Spotsy, there's now a criminal investigation of the baby's death. The sheriff's office did not release the mother's name, but investigators say they turned their evidence over to Commonwealth's attorney Ryan Mahaffey, who charged the mother with child endangerment and child abuse, both felonies.
I think intent is the biggest question, whether there was intent or without intent.
First responders tell News4 the mother and the child's father both appeared absolutely devastated on scene, emotional wrecks. And tonight, the mother remains in custody. Reporting in Spotsylvania County, Drew Wilder, News4.
This is a tragedy that can happen to any parent or guardian. The people at Kids and Car Safety have some steps you can take to keep infants and toddlers safe. One, place that child's diaper bag or another item in the front passenger seat as a reminder that the child is in the back. Two, make a habit of opening the back door every time you park your car, whether anyone's back there or not. Three, ask your provider, your child care provider, to call you anytime your child doesn't arrive. And if you're driving with another adult, confirm who will get the child out of the vehicle before you leave. You can head to NBCWashington.com for a more comprehensive list of safety tips. The Maryland Stadium Authority is now weighing in on a controversial move to shut down a public civic plaza in Largo. The multi-million-dollar space was funded through the Stadium Authority. In a statement, the authority says a Prince George's County official provided inaccurate information to News4 about the project. Our Darcy Spencer has the latest on the story you saw first on 4.
Graham Correll Allen wanted to see it for himself. The $10 million Largo Civic Plaza that he helped design and build, fenced off. He used this free speech frame that he designed for public discourse to get out his own message.
Have this fence. I think the easiest thing would be to just simply take it down and invite people to come and enjoy their public space.
Prince George's County officials say there are safety, liability, and handicap accessibility concerns with the plaza, so that's why it's being fenced off to keep people out. The county plans to dismantle and donate this play equipment, but it's unclear what will happen with the rest of the artwork, sculptures, and murals created by several artists. A county official told News4 there was graffiti on this utility building. It was painted over, but an artist provided this photo saying it was art, not graffiti. That county official says the administration had no say in the project.
So, Darcy, that would be like me coming to your house, putting together a whole project, leaving it and saying, now like it.
And you don't like it?
No, we don't like it.
The plaza was spearheaded by Angela Alsobrooks, the former county executive who got $400 million from the Maryland Stadium Authority for the Blue Line corridor, which includes the plaza. But current county executive Aisha Braveboy's administration made the decision to keep the public out while it's being redesigned and reimagined.
This is a new administration. Maybe they're not as familiar with the public process that went into it. Reach out to the designers, learn about it, understand everything that went into shaping this plaza, and then give it a go.
The plaza was completed in December and turned over to the county, but faces an uncertain future. It has the play equipment, dog park, large lawn area, shaded seating, and was meant to attract people to downtown Largo. And now we're hearing from the Maryland Stadium Authority on this controversy. In a statement, it said it wanted to clarify what it called inaccurate information provided by a county official to NBC4. The statement makes clear the authority will not provide any additional money to make changes to this plaza. The statement says in part that the county approved the scope of work and approved the playground equipment that'll be dismantled. It says the county and residents were involved in workshops. The project is compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Those involved in the project are hoping something can be worked out to address county concerns and open the plaza for everyone to enjoy. In Largo, Darcy Spencer, News 4.
Much more to come tonight on the Rundown, including a closer look at the forecast. Hey, Doug.
Yeah, and it's a big forecast for the Memorial Day weekend. Out there right now, the rain making its way in. If you haven't seen the rain just yet, I'm talking to you folks in Southern Maryland, it's coming, and it's coming in a big way. We'll talk about what to expect for your Friday, your weekend, and beyond. See you back here in a minute.
I'm Adam Tuss at Columbia Island Marina, right by the Pentagon. You know, as we get ready for America 250 celebrations, there's concern here because the waterways around our region might be closed in large part. Coming up next after the break, I'm going to tell you what the administration says could be happening along the Potomac and the Anacostia. I'll tell you about it next.
Well, this weekend, as you know, marks the unofficial start of summer, and around here, it's going to be a huge summer with the all the America 250 celebrations happening. That includes a potentially larger than normal fireworks show, which could close large portions of our rivers on what would be considered the biggest boating day of the year. News 4 transportation reporter Adam Tuss is talking to a local boater today who says his boat may not be going anywhere for the 4th.
Fireworks and having a boat on the Potomac.
It's just like going to your vacation home right on the water every weekend.
It's a perfect setup for the 4th of July, but maybe not this year.
Rumor has it that we might be shut down and that the entire marina and the entire waterway will be shut down. And then you enter the captain's quarters.
Longtime boater Lonnie Landers, who has had a boat slip here at Columbia Island Marina right by the Pentagon since the mid-90s, almost can't believe the word that's spreading around his marina.
President Trump is bringing in 4 barges consisting of 800,000 fireworks. And because of that volume and the mortar shells and wherever it's all going to go, they're going to shut down the waterway.
Now, multiple sources with direct knowledge of the planning for the 4th of July confirmed to News 4's Mark Seagraves that larger than normal portions of the Anacostia and Potomac rivers and areas near Poplar Point could be off limits to boaters this year because of the possibility of a larger than normal fireworks display. Just for context, the typical 4th of July fireworks show here is about 17 minutes long. This year, it could go as long as 45 minutes.
It's the biggest boating day of the year, and I personally have friends and relatives that are flying in from the West Coast for the big day.
Now look, Lonnie says taking away his fun for him and his friends who might be coming here for the 4th of July, that's one thing. But when you think about an impact to a business like the marina here and the potentially tens of thousands of dollars that they could lose, well, that's something completely different.
Between fuel sales and the restaurant and bar business they do on that holiday weekend, it could cost this marina $50,000 just for the one day.
Lonnie is pleading for a change.
So if you had a message to President Trump, maybe he's watching, who knows, what would you say?
I would say, please don't shut down the waterway.
According to the White House website, Freedom 250, the event organizer, has not released its full event plans yet. But the organization says it intends to put on the largest pyrotechnics display in the history of the world. We've reached out to Freedom 250 for more details, but have not yet heard back. At Columbia Island Marina, Adam Tuss, News 4.
We've heard from the Potomac River keeper. He tells News 4 he does not see any serious environmental concerns with the river because of a larger than normal fireworks show this year. Okay, let's turn to the forecast. I don't know whether you call it a fireworks show, but we heard some rumbles of thunder, a little lightning last night.
Yeah.
Things calmed down, though, a bit today.
Yeah, big time, because of the fact that the heat's gone, right? So we saw the very cool weather during the day today. Yesterday, 96. Now we're in the 50s area-wide. Kind of amazing what we've seen.
Really is.
Some locations 30 to 40 degrees cooler today. And now the rain's coming down. Rain coming down outside our studios here in Northwest D.C. Nothing too heavy, not much wind, but temperatures, as I mentioned, only 59 degrees outside right now. Dew point coming up with that rain moving on in across the area. Temperatures, everybody's in the 50s. Exception is down to the south and east. 66, the warm spot in Patuxent River, but only 53 in Martinsburg, 55 in Hagerstown. These are areas that have seen rain all day. They're getting out of it, though. Hagerstown, Martinsburg, no longer any rain there. That boundary shifting to the south, right into the city. You see other showers and storms developing down farther to the south. Look at the heaviest rain now in through Spotsylvania County, in towards areas around Stafford County, Fredericksburg, Warrenton, Fairfax County, seeing that. Some other showers, and now down into southern Maryland. And all of this rain will work its way in towards the rest of southern Maryland. Now, the wider picture here, actually the zoomed-in picture showing the rain around the Beltway. Like even D.C., we didn't see any rain during the day, but after about 6 o'clock, that rain moved in, and that rain is going to continue as we make our way through the overnight hours. We've got a lot more going on. You can see the boundary shifting to the south here. At the same time, you got a lot of moisture working to the north. That's going to give us a squeeze play and that means some moderate to heavy rain at times as we make our way through the overnight hours, and then a lot of moisture still to come back to the west. So let's time it out for you as we work our way through the rest of tonight. By 11 o'clock, our northern zones are drier. Our southern zones are seeing the rain now, including you folks in southern Maryland, D.C. as well. As we move on through early tomorrow, notice the rain starting to work its way back to the north. And watch this. This is the morning, by the way. So 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, getting on the bus, getting to work or school, it's going to be a slow go of things, or rather a nasty morning rush. Look at the afternoon. Everybody getting in on the action. Everybody seeing the rain with highs only in the 50s in most locations. Tomorrow evening, maybe we get a little bit of a break here if you're going to be out on your Friday night. Maybe have enough dry time to be able to walk around a little bit, but there's still some showers. Then we work to Saturday morning. That's Saturday morning. If you're thinking about driving down toward the beaches on Saturday, look at the slow go that's going to be there all the way down towards the Ocean City area, towards Rehoboth, all dealing with the rain all day Saturday. Saturday is definitely a washout. I think your Friday's a washout, and I think your Saturday's a washout. You notice we do have some clearing late in the day on Saturday, but that's it. So rain likely, washout Friday and Saturday. Sunday and Monday looking okay. Showers, but not a washout, and it's going to be warmer. So notice the numbers, up to 74 on Sunday, up to 78 on Monday. If you are having friends over, you're doing a little barbecue Sunday or Monday, I think you might get that in okay, especially Monday. I'm not expecting a lot of rain Sunday and Monday, but I am expecting a lot of rain tomorrow and Saturday, maybe upwards of 1 to 2, even 3 inches of rain. Next week, we dry out almost completely. Really nice weather as we head towards next week, which, by the way, is the last weekend in the month of May. How about that?
Enjoying this long Memorial Day weekend, the traditional parade happens on Constitution Avenue Monday, 10 a.m. Or if you want to head over to the Capitol, the concert goes on 8 p.m. on Monday. Friday, a D.C. favorite is back. It's Jazz in the Sculpture Garden at the National Gallery of Art. And this may not be Costco, but we got a little sample of the first group, Oh He Dead.
Tell me how I let him go so easily. And if our love was a little bit harder.
Jazz in the Garden goes on through mid-August. Sting is at Wolf Trap in Virginia. A great show to check that out on the lawn. Or you can see a whole other kind of show. Wendell Pierce, who's been in The Wire, Suits, Jack Ryan, so much more. He's coming to Shakespeare Theater Company playing Othello. And he told us what Detective Moreland from The Wire and Othello have in common.
Well, all the great Shakespearean characters have. They're men of principle, but they are flawed. Particularly this man that I'm about to play, Othello. Right in the middle of his name is hell.
Othello runs through the end of June. Viva Vienna's going on. It's a weekend-long celebration with rides and crafts and food, and whatever you buy or do, it all benefits local charities and humanitarian organizations. So have that extra funnel cake for a good cause. Look up in the stars. The Udvar Hazy Center has the Northern Virginia Astronomy Group coming out and getting together to gaze and enjoy. Also, it's DC Black Pride. Started in 1991 as a way to get together to raise awareness for HIV and AIDS. Now, it's an incredibly powerful week of celebrations with everything from conferences to movie screenings to parties to everyone getting together. I'm Tommy McFly. Have an awesome weekend.
Lots to do. The News 4 Rundown will be right back with a powerful story of persistence.
She made history as the first Vietnamese woman to go to space, and she also fought for the rights of sexual assault survivors.
The worst thing that happened to me wasn't being raped. It was being betrayed by America's criminal justice system. I put aside my astronaut dreams and I rewrote the law.
Ahead on News 4, astronaut and activist Amanda Nguyen shares her story of never giving up.
This May, News 4 is celebrating Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander heritage. Last year, astronaut Amanda Nguyen became the first Vietnamese woman to fly into space. She's also a Nobel Prize nominated activist, fighting for the rights of sexual assault survivors through her nonprofit Rise. Amanda moved here to D.C. after graduating from college. News 4's Amy Cho sat down with her at the Intrepid Museum in New York City to talk about her inspiring journey.
They have named themselves the 6 taking up space as each one is ringing a bell.
It was a moment seen around the world. Astronaut Amanda Wynn getting ready to take off on her first ever space flight. But as she lifted off into the sky and saw where she was going, New Shepard has cleared the tower. It was also a reminder of where she's been.
I had dreams. Mine was to go to space. I studied astrophysics, and during my last semester, I was raped.
Amanda went to the hospital and had a rape kit collected. She later learned the state of Massachusetts would destroy rape kits after just 6 months, even though the statute of limitations was 15 years. Amanda says she went through a nightmare of red tape every 6 months trying to get her rape kit extended.
The reason we have a statute of limitations is in recognition that some crimes are so painful, so heinous, that it takes time for somebody to recover and then be able, at a point of their life later, to come back and then address the issue. I was so upset, and I felt like the worst thing that happened to me wasn't being raped. It was being betrayed by America's criminal justice system. And I realized I had a choice. I could accept that injustice or rewrite the law. So I put aside my astronaut dreams and I rewrote the law.
Amanda convinced Congress to pass a Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights.
Sexual violence is an epidemic
that requires states to maintain rape kits for longer. She brought with her a note she'd written after she was raped to never, never, never give up. Years later, when Amanda returned to astronaut training and was chosen to fly with Blue Origin,
I kept my promise.
She would carry that same note into space.
I remember what it was like to testify for 25 million survivors' rights under the hot, bright lights of the United States Senate. You know, I could do that, then I can survive barrel rolls and not vomit, you know?
During her time in space, Amanda had just 10 minutes to carry out multiple science experiments. One was on early cancer detection. Cancer cells that might take years to grow on Earth can grow in just days in space. And another experiment was on how blood behaves in space, either for injuries or women's periods.
I'm sure you're familiar with Sally Ride being sent up to space with 100 tampons. You know, there isn't much research, enough research that's done on women's health, and there certainly isn't enough within aerospace.
Blue Origin flight received a flood of negative online comments, with some people calling it tone deaf and a waste of money on celebrities. But amid the criticism, many commenters recognized Amanda for her dedication to science and survivors.
What was that like to see that backlash when you came back?
In the midst of it all, I'm just deeply so grateful for everyone who knew what my story is. I know there was such a mega spotlight on it because of its historic nature. It really did help with getting people to be more familiar with my activism as well as my research, so I'm grateful for that.
And throughout her journey, Amanda has often honored her Vietnamese roots. Her parents were refugees who fled after the fall of Saigon.
When Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon, bombs dropped down on Vietnam. Last year, when they looked at the sky, instead of bombs, they saw the first Vietnamese woman in space. That happening in one lifetime is a testament to the ability for anyone to achieve their dreams.
Amanda says the research she did in space is under peer review for publication. She continues to fight for survivors' rights around the world and has testified before the UN. She's also hoping to go to space again if there's an opportunity. Be sure to celebrate AANHPI Heritage Month with us by tuning into our special airing Friday, May 29th at 7:30. We'll also continue to share stories from that special program throughout the month here on News 4. That's going to do it for us. We're back right here at 11. We hope to see you then. Have a good night. Stay dry.